So, if you're out there building APIs, you already know that writing the actual code, the core logic, that feels like the main event, right? But what if the biggest thing slowing you down isn't the code at all? What if it's everything else, the whole ecosystem of tools and processes you're stuck with? Let's get into that daily grind and maybe find a way to make it, well, not a grind. This one, man, this really hits home for so many of us. That feeling that you're just constantly putting out fires, wrestling with messy docs, fixing tests that break if you look at them funny, trying to understand some bizarre schema instead of, actually building cool stuff. It's a super common and honestly a super frustrating place to be. All right, let's talk about the grind. We're talking about all those little hidden, time-sucking tasks that are built into the API lifecycle. The stuff that can really just drain the fun right out of your day. I love this metaphor because it's just perfect. It totally captures how a tiny little thing, like documenting error codes, can be this constant nagging pain. It's one of those tedious chores you know you have to do, but oh man, you dread it every single time. It's a universal feeling. And look, it's never just one thing, is it? It's this whole collection of hurdles you have to jump over every single day. You're trying to design a new endpoint, but the existing schemas are an absolute mess. You spend time writing tests, but they're so brittle they only ever pass when everything is perfect. And the documentation? Let's be real, it was probably out of date the second it was published. You end up feeling less like a coder and more like a digital archaeologist. And here's the real kicker. The very tools that are supposed to be helping us, a lot of the time, they actually become a huge part of the problem. They add friction instead of removing it. Let's look at how the old way of doing things just isn't keeping up. I'm sure this story sounds familiar. You started out using a tool like Postman, and it was great. But over the years, it's just gotten bloated. It's slow, it's cluttered, so you go looking for something new, maybe an extension in VS Code like ThunderClient, and you hit the next wall. All the really useful features are stuck behind a paywall. It feels like you're always having to make a compromise. So this brings us to the big question, right? What would your day look like if your tools felt like a partner? If they were fast, smart, and just seamlessly worked with you instead of being another obstacle you have to fight? Well, that exact question is what's driving a whole new generation of API tools. They're being built from the ground up to solve these exact frustrations, and they're doing it with a totally new philosophy. Just look at the difference here. The old way meant juggling a bunch of slow, separate tools that demanded you be online and logged in. The new way? It's all about a single, super lightweight platform that works offline, doesn't need a login, and launches in like 2 seconds. This isn't just a small improvement, it's a completely different way of thinking about the developer experience. A really great example of this new way of thinking is a tool called EchoAPI. Think about what this means. You get the power of Postman for testing and debugging, Swagger for your documentation, mock server so your front-end team isn't blocked, and even JMeter for performance testing, all in one spot. And then, the whole thing gets supercharged with AI. And this just nails the core ideas. It's all about speed and your privacy. Being able to work fully offline is a massive deal, especially in places with tight security. And get this, for all of us who have years and years of scripts built up in Postman, it has 100% script compatibility. That means you can switch over without having to rewrite your entire life's work. Okay, now for what I think is the most game-changing part of this whole new approach. Actually putting AI to work to get rid of the most mind-numbing parts of our jobs.
Hey, remember those splinters in your finger we were talking about? Let's go right back to that specific pain. You've got error codes all over the place, buried in logs, hidden in old Word docs, stuck in code comments. And it's your job to manually dig them out, copy, paste, and format them into a nice, clean table for the docs. It is pure soul-crushing drudgery.
So this is where AI just completely changes everything. The process becomes dead simple. You literally just paste in that chaotic mess of text, whatever it is, you click one button, and boom, the AI spits out a perfectly clean, standardized, beautiful table. A task that used to take 10, maybe 15 minutes, now it takes 10 seconds. And here's the proof right here. On the left, that's reality, right? A total jumble of different formats and junk. And on the right, that's what you get after one click. The AI actually understands the context and turns that chaos into clear, consistent information. It's like having grep on superpowers. But this isn't just a one-trick pony. This kind of AI help is woven into the entire development lifecycle. It can automatically generate test cases to find edge case bugs for you. It can write your test scripts and assertions. It'll help you complete your API schemas by adding descriptions and examples. It can even take your rough notes and polish them into professional-looking documentation. So, what's the big picture here? What does all this actually add up to? Because the point isn't just to have cool, flashy tools. The point is to fundamentally change how we work so we can spend less time in pain and more time actually delivering value. Okay, check out this number, 61.4%. That's the percentage of common production bugs that this kind of AI-powered test generation can catch before they ever see the light of day. That's huge. It means you're shifting from being reactive and constantly firefighting to being proactive and preventing problems from ever happening. This slide really just sums it all up, doesn't it? We're moving away from a world that's manual, messy, and reactive to one that's standardized, automated, and actually intelligent. And that documentation isn't some dusty old artifact anymore. It's a living, polished, and useful part of the entire process. I absolutely love this. This quote just reframes the whole thing perfectly. Instead of being that awful chore you put off until the last possible second, having great documentation, assisted by AI, suddenly becomes a way to show off. It's a way to flex the quality and professionalism of your work. It becomes something you can actually be proud of. And that really leaves us with the big, final question to think about. When the grind is gone, when you're not firefighting all day, when all those tedious, mind-numbing tasks are just handled by your AI assistant, what do you do with all that freed up time and creative energy? What amazing thing are you going to build next?
EchoAPI